Hey everybody, it's FaZe Ali from All Things Mobile, and today I thought I'd just do a little bit of a different video. Instead of taking a look at some type of smartphone or tablet, we will be taking a look at Windows 8. Now that Windows 8 has officially been released, I can take a good look and we can see what's new, what's up with Windows 8, and why there was so much controversy about Windows 8. So right here, we have the start bar, the start menu. No longer is there a start menu down here. You can see that when you put your mouse into the lower left corner, you get a little icon that says start. It's a little picture thing. Tap it and you're whisked away into the Metro, quote unquote Metro, which is, they're calling it the modern UI now. And this is your start menu. As you can see, they've got native apps for things like calendar, as well as the mail. So, and you can just switch between them pretty easily. So that's pretty cool, and pretty speedy actually. So that's that. You'll notice other random native apps, kind of like the messaging, the people app, the store, which is new actually. So pretty cool. And you'll also notice these programs that are pinned to your task or your start bar. To access all your programs, you can right click, and then there's a bar that comes at the top, bottom, and you can select it for all apps. And you can go through there, and you can also hit the minus key just to go through your applications or your programs in a kind of like an overview look. So that's something that's new. So that's pretty neat. And these are like kind of like folders, so Adobe, and then all the Adobe stuff is under there. So that's pretty cool. Going back to the start menu here. So that's that. And also, this is called the modern UI, but you can also go back to the standard desktop interface. So my desktop's kind of cluttered right now, but yes, you can go back to your standard desktop. Screen resolution, you can change all the settings you kind of knew how to do. This is kind of the standard, what we've been used to kind of since Windows 95, because we've had the same start menu at the bottom, icons on the desktop, folders, and things moving around for a long time now in Windows. So yeah, that's that. And people who are saying that you have to be in Metro to use Windows 8, not true at all. You don't have to go into Metro or the modern UI if you don't want to. You can always go in, go out. But personally, I like this new look because as you guys can see, there's live tiles. And if you ever used Windows Mobile Phone 8, you'll notice that the tiles change according to the content within the tile. So, for example, in my Twitro app, which is Twitter for Windows 8, it cycles through tweets and like my mentions and whatnot. Whereas in this application, this is the news app, the Bing News, which actually Microsoft's done a pretty good job with the native Bing apps. It will cycle through. Oops, I was reading something here. It will cycle through news. So that's pretty cool. It will cycle through like news stories and whatnot. This is like the front page, top story, and you can just go to a story and read the story. And this is a very nice format, as well as you can always right click to pull up a context sensitive menu and change the text style, the size, next article, and whatnot, right? So, and you can see the captions. So in terms of the native Bing apps, they're pretty good, and the live tiles display information related to that, so that's always a good thing. It's always pretty cool. And now there's a much tighter integration with SkyDrive in Windows 8. So if you go into SkyDrive, you'll see that you can have a whole bunch of files in your SkyDrive. Again, native app, but you can also throw that away and go to your SkyDrive via the same way that you access your Google, like your Google Drive and like your Dropbox and whatnot. They have the Metro version or the modern UI version, and then they also have this version. So that's pretty neat. The thing that caused the most controversy was actually this, and to be honest, I don't find that this is that bad at all, because if it's gonna scroll through information, like if I'm gonna get the weather at a glance and then see what people are up to in the people people tile here, and then also see the stocks, what's going on in the finance sector, and then the news, and my tweets going on in the background and whatnot. I can just have an overview of everything that's going on without actually going into individual applications, which is kind of convenient. I can just go about whatever I'm doing, and then I can see this here, and then I can just, if I want to read something like this one here, something about the Nexon, I believe, Nexon, yeah, I can just go in, and then I could, go in from there and read what I want to read. So the Nexon article, open it up, and we got there just because we were interested in what we were seeing from the live tile. So the live tile is a pretty good idea. You can also turn them off actually if they are annoying to you. So you just find the live tile you want, right click, and then turn live tile off, and it will turn off. You can also turn live tile back on, and for these tiles that take up 2 spaces, like Skype, the news, all these ones here, you can also make them smaller, and now you can fit another tile there. So that's always a nice thing, just having a little bit of a customization there. Also, universal search is well done. You were used to doing start menu and then searching, but now you go start and we search. Let's search for BlackBerry desktop software black, and then there you go, it pops up. Open it, and you can see that it'll open this program up in the standard desktop layout. So that's that, and we have a new task switcher now. Your Alt tab works as usual, but then your window tab works differently. It brings up this menu, and you can access this menu by going to the top left and sliding down to see what's open. So that's pretty neat. They changed that up a little bit. Another thing that they changed is they added something called the charms bar. So this is the top right. You'll see the charms. You go down, search, share, start, devices, settings. Search, again, just kind of starts searching your apps. You don't really have to do that, but you can if you want to, because you can just go in here and start typing. Also, what you can do with the charms bar is it's your quick access to share content. So if I go in, and if I'm in, let's go back to the finance application, and I'm here in the Nexon article, I can open up charms, share, and I can share this article in Twitter. So Tweetro, this is the Twitter one delete. The mail, I can email it to somebody, or I could share it with people. And in my people, I can select a person I want to choose, right? So apparently here you can't share this. So let's try email, mail, and yes, so I can share it via mail. So that's pretty cool. And it's right there, so it's just convenient. Also, start just brings you back to the start. Devices, if you have like a second screen connected in, or if you have like a projector or something you can send things to, like devices, yeah, that works. And then settings brings you down to setting your tiles. Yeah, so it brings you down to like your start menu layout, and then you've got a whole bunch of other things like your Wi-Fi. All this has been changed. You've got airplane mode. You can set as metered connection now. Whole bunch of different things that going on in there. Notifications, you can hide them, you cannot hide them. It's up to you. It's very customizable, and a lot of your programs will work. Like for example, the only thing I had to do is I had Norton Internet Security 2011. When I ran the update compatibility, the upgrade assistant, which checks all your programs to see what's compatible and what's not, the only thing was Norton 2011 wasn't compatible, and the solution was just to upgrade to Norton 2012, and that's what I did here, and that's why I've got Norton, and that works. So if something doesn't work, it's most likely it's just not up to date. That's the only reason why it wouldn't work, from what I've experienced. Switching through applications is pretty easy, but how about closing them since they're in full screen? You guys have already seen applications like I don't know, let's go SkyDrive again. You guys know this system in Windows, the close, maximize, minimize. You just close an app or a program like that. In here, there's something different. So when we go back into finance, we can go to the top, and you can see the little hand grab it, and you can just swipe down. It's that simple. It's very nice. It's very elegant. I like it. It looks pretty cool. You can also snap it to the left here, take up 1/3 of the screen, or oops, yeah, 1/3 of the screen. Let's go back. Let's open something up. Let's open up store. You can also adjust it so it takes up 2/3 of the screen, and the store only takes up 1/3. So that's pretty neat. And also these Metro apps do run alongside your regular everyday app. So if you go in and we go to desktop, we open up a folder. Why not? Let's open up this one, Adobe Air SDK. As you can see, we've got this here as well. And when we push this over, anything running in the desktop mode will show up here. So that's one folder. Let's open the second folder. Let's do maps as well. And we will switch this over. And you can see all the programs here. So it's quick access to them, which is kind of neat. They've also kind of changed up the task manager. So if we go into task manager, you'll notice that it actually looks a little bit different now. And yep, it looks a little bit different. So that's what that is. That's something that's changed. Now, personally, I think Windows 8 is pretty cool. First impressions, it works well. Here's IE10 actually. This is a different version of this is IE10, something that you get with Windows 8. I don't think it's actually available for download like by itself yet. You could do, I think like there's a consumer like preview type thing going on, but other than that, there's nothing really, there's nothing really going on there. So as you guys can see, when Internet Explorer has gotten so much better, it's a much improved system. It's a lot better. It's not what it used to be with IE6 and to a certain extent IE7 and 8. So IE10 is really up to par with the likes of Google Chrome now. So it's not just a really bad browser anymore. It's a pretty decent experience. All in all, in terms of just my first impressions, they're pretty positive. I went into Windows 8 a little bit skeptical, to tell you guys the truth. I tried to avoid reading about Windows 8 as much as I could, simply because I find that people tend to just rehash what they hear, and they're not as original, and that happens more often than I thought. So I thought, you know what? Why not just lay off the reading of Windows 8 for a little bit, test it out when it comes out myself, because most of the people who were on Windows 8 and they were talking about it, they were using the consumer preview or the developer beta of Windows 8. So they weren't even on the final build. Yes, some of them were on the RTM version, which stands for return to marketing or return to manufacturing as well, which basically means it's kind of like the last thing. Like it's basically the last beta, then they're gonna kind of push it out. It's a release candidate basically. It's an RC, I believe. Those are the exact words they use for the Windows 7 beta, release candidate. So the RTM version, it was a pretty good indicator of what Windows 8 is going to turn out to be. But again, they could always make little bug fixes and whatnot. So I wanted to wait until Windows 8 was officially launched, and then when it was, I decided, why not give it a try, right? And so far, first impression, I'm liking it. I really don't see too many problems with it. I can go back to desktop, go back to the Metro UI, switch between applications, snap them into place, run multiple applications, on one screen, have them adjust to how big I need them. And now, there's a new store, so that's always pretty neat. And a lot of applications are coming into the store, like Skype is a notable one. And now they do have a Metro version of Skype, which is actually here. This is the Metro, not the Metro, they call it the modern UI version. But anyways, again, this video was a lot longer than I expected, but you know what? Windows 8, so far I'm loving it. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. It's definitely not as bad as people said it was for gaming. I'm able to run all the games I've got on this computer perfectly fine, no problems. If you're upgrading to Windows 8, I highly recommend you run the Windows 8 Upgrade Assistant just to see what's compatible, what's not compatible. You can do all your fixes. Also check your computer website. If you have a Dell computer, go to Dell.ca or Dell.com, find the drivers, and for example, Dell and I believe Asus as well has started to do this. They put up the new drivers for Windows 8, so that's always a good thing. Update your drivers to Windows 8. I think probably the most important driver just to update is probably just the GPU, the graphics card. Just make sure everything's kind of working well on that front. And yeah, that's about it. I'm going to be doing a more in-depth video to cover what's new. Obviously, there's a lot that's changed within the OS, so I'm not going to be able to cover every single little thing, but I will be able to cover the major points. This is just a really quick overview I had, even though it's going on to almost 16 minutes now. And yeah, so Windows 8, I am loving it. How about you guys? Leave a comment below, tell me what you think, and let me know if you're planning to upgrade to Windows 8. There's a lot of people I've talked to, and they're saying that they're gonna stay with Windows 7, which is obviously it's not a bad choice, but hey, let me know if you're gonna upgrade to Windows 8, stay with Windows 7 or even XP. Some people are still on XP, or if you're gonna switch to Mac OS, right? Let me know. Let's have a good discussion in the comments below. Alright, Faisal Ali, I'll see you guys later.